morning. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at the daily collective messages. So welcome. I'm really excited to be here with you. These messages are timeless, so regardless of when you fall upon them, if they resonate, then they're definitely meant for you, as I'm sure you know. Otherwise, just leave it. No need to stress or get worried about something that's not intended for us. So we try to keep it on the up and up at this channel as well. I think the more we focus on certain things, the more it's going to bring that into our life. So I love to start out the sessions with clearing out the energy. I grabbed a little Palo Santo. Feel free to grab your own smudge or just receive the cleansing of this energy if you want. You can always skip ahead as well if this is not your vibe. I like to cleanse and restore my energy for the highest and best messages. Whatever might be coming my way that's getting in the way of that. My own BS, right? Okay, so morning messages, channeling. We are just to kind of remind, if you've been following along or watching other channels, we are in Mercury retrograde through the rest of the year. It goes direct on January 1st. Retrogrades are a really good time to kind of take a step back, reflect in that area of our life, what is going on, what needs to be looked at. There's this heavy theme of releasing and letting go the old cycles, old karma, the things that really just aren't serving us. This is going to be probably a redundant message until the first of the year, but really kind of taking that into account. We have a couple more weeks, setting intentions, doing that self-evaluation, what's working, what's not, and then committing to yourself that you are going to remove what is just not meant for you, what is not serving you, what's kind of bringing you down into that low vibey energy, so to speak. Low vibey energy, it's just physical energy. It is connected to our root, solar plexus, sacral chakra. It is the physical world, and it's dense energy, right? Like the physical versus the spiritual plane, or the more energetic, subtle layers. Earth energy can absorb that, right? It can distract us into what's going on right in front of us. So we really need to rise above, have that bird's eye perspective, looking at people and situations. I feel like in some ways this message of sadness, gloom, sorrow has been popping out. I'm going to put this card back in, but we'll keep shuffling, see if it comes back up. So there is this energy, and this makes a lot of sense when we go into retrograde because it brings up the old. We might be attaching a little too heavily to the sorrow, what has passed, what didn't work out, etc. Be really conscious and mindful. Everything has a place and purpose in our life, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a forever thing. And I think when we can kind of detach from that concept of keeping something around, especially when we know it's just not good for us, it's not serving our life, what we want, how we want to show up, who we want to be, etc. It's best to just kind of nip it in the bud. It saves us a lot of time, energy, karmic cycles, if you want to see it that way. Because if we don't learn our lesson, we're just going to insert ourselves back into that same cycle. We might have a different person or a different situation happen, but the energy will unfold the same. And there is some of that resistance. We've been talking about Mercury in opposition to Jupiter. I'm recording this on Thursday, which is actually the day of Jupiter. And I really love the way energy healing looks at Jupiter, astrology looks at it, because it is a true reflection of our internal world. What we're seeing on the outside of us, it's how we feel about ourselves, how we think about ourselves, what we believe we deserve. And that's what I was like, I heard this message as I was preparing for today, and then for the life of me, I couldn't remember what it effing was, and it just came. It is all about perspective, right? And here's the thing, even if we're doing something that we're shaming, judging ourselves about, that, we're embarrassed of or whatever, we're coming at it from that perspective of worthlessness, that we don't have value. Shame on you, shame on, how you handled this, what you did, etc. Where in reality, if we just kind of validate ourselves, it makes sense why you did that, why you said that, why you reacted that way, why this happened. So how can we course correct? It really diffuses the desire or the need to re-engage in that behavior. It helps us be a little bit more mindful, about what we need to be learning and growing through. And actually, which is really nice today, astrologically, Saturn, which is the planet that teaches us our lessons, is in harmony with Mercury and the moon. So what we're emotional about, what's triggering for us, ways we feel like we can't communicate, where we feel like we're limited in our daily activities, as Saturn's basically saying, if you're doing the work, I'm going to honor this. I'm going to turn around and bless you. It is that faith in the process. And I feel like we're going to see these little boosts of quote unquote transformation where, it might not be, the biggest package, the biggest present, or what I'm trying to say is the thing that we are going after, that we're longing for. We might not get it right this second, but it is coming in. And the more our spirit kind of throws us a bone here and there, the more it is confirmation and validation that you're on the right path. The right path should feel good, even if it is hard. There's a difference between having to hunker down and work through something versus making it difficult on ourselves, trying to force that proverbial square peg into the round hole. So be really conscious of that today. Jupiter does deal with our solar plexus. It's our empowerment, how we bring those things in. It's also our heart, again, confirming that internal reflection, and our throat chakra, like how we present it out to the world. The heart and the throat chakra really connect our upper and lower chakras together. One is our vision, our fantasy, how we see things, and then the other is how we bring it into fruition. So this is a lot about empowering yourself today, even when it's not exactly how we want it to be. Jupiter is positively aspected to the moon. So again, even if we're not seeing the results, it's the little bit here and there, the little victories that we're getting here and there are going to make us feel proud, empowered. They're going to give us that extra boost, that step forward. The South Node is in Libra. Libra deals with our partnerships, and the South Node is representative of our old karma, things that we want to clear out, that we bring into this lifetime from past lives. So it can be really easy to revert back to old patterning, especially as it relates to our relationships, our partnerships in life. It doesn't have to just be love. It can be friends, family, etc. There's a lot that's like gonna be coming up over the next couple weeks, especially in those relationships. So that is why this message is so imperative, so important this week, to really make sure that you are taking those extra steps to empower yourself, to feel brave, to feel strong. Okay, so what is this anger that needs to be released? Whether this is yours or coming from someone else, dealing with some hostility today. you could, this can be as simple as it's just coming from within, right? Something really pisses you off, and it can be like the stupidest or the simplistic, most simplistic, I should say. A stranger cuts you off or whatever it is. Someone says something with maybe not the worst intent, but it provokes a lot of anger. Or you're feeling this reverberation from someone else. Anger really is a surface emotion. Anger is covering those layers of unworthiness. We get pissed off because we don't like the results. We don't like what's happening. But if we tap into that, if we look at that, uncover those layers a little bit deeper, usually it's rooted in the fact that we feel like we're being rejected, or that we're not valuable, that we're not worth what we want. Anger is also fuel, right? I mean, we can be angry about a situation, how someone treated us, an injustice. There's that righteous anger that's, so appropriate. And so I'm all about feeling your feelings, right? I'm not saying like, don't be angry, shame, No, it's more this value of how are we containing that anger. When we're coming from a space of self-confidence, then we are going to channel that anger appropriately. But if we're feeling all over the place, if someone's triggering a deep wounding, if something happens that we're not expecting and it really does throw us off course, I love this. Sorry, this card wanted to come out. Acceptance. We have to be, in a perfect world, everything would work out how we wanted it to, right? But unfortunately, that is not where we live. We live with a lot of diversity, a lot of people, places, and things around us that cater to the energetic whole, right? So I feel like, feel your feelings, be angry, give yourself that empowerment, that justice through the release, through the righteous anger, but then also find your grounding, your acceptance, and your self-confidence through that process. When we work with our emotions in a positive and proactive way, it can really, really, really help release the burden. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a congestion. I apologize. Whatever is happening today for you around this, in this energy, it's for a release. It just confirms exactly what I was saying right there. It is to release. It is to let go. That is a huge theme for this Mercury retrograde. Definitely check out that video if you haven't and are interested, right? All right, friends, let's get into the tarot. All important messages. Sometimes I feel like I talk a lot, but I guess that's what this video is about, right? Okay, so let's see how this anger, how this self-acceptance manifests today for us. What is the situation that we're dealing with? Okay, Eight of Cups. Walking away from something that doesn't serve us. I believe the Eight of Cups came up for us yesterday as well in our final release, our final letting go. This is doing so in a proactive way. And generally the Eight of Cups signifies things that are toxic, things that are unhealthy, that do not serve us in the way that, we really need to anymore. It could be some self-protection energy, right? Like, when we're having a really hard time trusting ourselves, when we shut down because we have dealt with so much toxicity, unhealthy behavior in our life, be conscious of that. I also feel like this is a message to self-protect, especially if the anger is not coming from you, or maybe it's someone who is provoking anger in you that you need to just walk away from. Self-protect, right? Shut your mouth, walk away. We get better results when we do it that way. I think it feels good to communicate how you think, how you feel someone or something is showing up for you, but oftentimes it really doesn't get us anywhere, unfortunately. Maharishi Mahesh talks a lot about that in the Bhagavad Gita. It's actually really beautiful. Like, Why are we wasting our energy running around trying to convince people of what we think and what we feel, where really it's things that we have to work out within ourselves? Because if someone's going to do something that is offensive to us or whatever, really we should be able to be like, that's cool, and walk away, you know, like whatever. It says a lot about you, and walk away. But oftentimes we're like, well, no, let me, you know, justify my point. Let me say what I need to say. Let me tell them how they are. It never gets received. Sometimes if someone's aware, if they're awake, if they want to self-reflect, then they will take into account the words that you said, but most times people don't want to hear it, right? So 7 of Cups energy, there's a lot going on in the energetic world. We have 7 of 8 of Cups. I like that because it does talk about how we are moving and evolving forward. And I think as we're in this process, again, this 4 of Pentacles really makes sense about continuing to self-protect your energy, what you're growing, what you're building. I think today is actually a day to put yourself out there a little bit more with this Page of Wands. He's all about exploring new territory, new people, places, and things. So, you know, do something new. Take yourself out to a new restaurant. Go to, you know, workshop, meetings, something that you've been interested in that you haven't let yourself do. Hook up with people, you know what I mean? Like, find a way to kind of put your energy out there. I think this is a little bit hard, and this message has been coming through, which I know it's annoying, right? Because, like, we're in the holidays, we have a bajillion things on our plate, and the conflict ends up coming through in this way, like not another thing to do, or I'm too exhausted, or this, that, and the other. I feel like this is the message. Yes, obviously, don't burn the candle at both ends, but this is also talking about we need to intentionally carve time out for ourselves, right? And for our growth, for our expansion. We just had that new moon in Sagittarius, which is fire energy, that Page of Wands, Page of Swords. It's all about communication, you know? And again, this can also be dealing with whatever this person, situation, this angry kind of energy in the background. It could be conflict around whether you're going to communicate, whether you're going to initiate, with things like that. I feel like sometimes this is very 2 of Swords energy. If you're not 100% certain, today might not be the day to make a decision. Maybe you're making that decision within yourself, but you don't necessarily have to communicate it. Again, confirming that point of what I just was talking about, you know, self-protection, like making sure that you are being really conscious and mindful of how you're approaching this situation. It feels really delicate. And what I like about it is there is this energy with the 3 of Pentacles about teamwork, showing up, working together. Sometimes we just need to let the hubbub lie, right? Sometimes it's not the right time or place to address something. So be friendly. Hey, how's it going? Hey, you know, I'm here for you, etc. And leave it at that. Not everything has to be hashed out today, because there is still these underlying feelings of doom and gloom, which we've been seeing pop up. I think this really makes a lot of sense when it comes, yeah, there we go, the moon. So we have the moon, we have the 3 of Swords. This is that pain, heartbreak, grief that I was talking about. When that is still very much underneath the surface or in the energy of whatever situation we're in, we end up reacting out of the hurt, out of the pain, out of the anger, especially when we feel like someone is specifically saying something to trigger us, to make us feel like a piece of shit, right? Some of this is this is just a lot about what I heard was let go and let God. Well, and it's true, right? So let go. We don't need to control everything. Stop taking on all that responsibility. You know, this is a lot about making the energy work for you. And if you know with a specific person or situation that it always ends up in A, B, and C, then probably today it will end up in the same way. We have to take that into account. And if something else happens, if that energy changes, that's awesome. But don't feel like you are the one responsible to change that energy, to make that person or situation see. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And like I said, with that moon, 3 of Swords, that's like a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak energy, a lot of sadness and pain. And if we misuse that in terms of this Jupiter in opposition to Venus, or the moon, even though the moon and Mercury are harmoniously aspected to Jupiter, if we're feeling a lot of feelings, especially around communication, what someone says to us, etc., it might make us resort to that bad behavior I was talking about with the South Node. Okay. Or like behavior we just don't want to emanate, you know. It's all about perspective, baby. It's all about perspective today, guys. Okay. Ooh, I love this. The healer. Sorry, the words are so tiny and I can't see. So choosing to heal, choosing to take the healing path. Healing is naturally done through our wellness, through our well-being, how we take care of ourselves. Make sure the easiest way to not get sucked into someone else's BS or anger is to take care of ourselves, right? Making sure you're getting enough rest, enough headspace for yourself today. But again, not being beholden to forcing yourself to engage with a person that, you know, is not really where you want to go. This is more about your healing and tapping back into, I love this energy, that innocence. The innocence of before, of childhood. 222 is on the clock, which I love because that is representative of our partnerships, the way we have partnership with ourselves and also with those around us. And I actually really like this, especially in my adult life. Looking back to my teenage years, you know, it's kind of when you're breaking away from your family a little bit, you have your own ideas, you're kind of finding yourself, so to speak, for lack of a better word. Who am I? How do I think and feel about these things, etc.? And so, you know, and usually it is done under that guise of innocence. That's why I'm bringing it up. You know, we're a little bit more authentic in our youth than we are in adulthood. After we get beaten down and bludgeoned along the way, it's easy to self-protect, right? It's easy to not trust, to fear worst case scenario. But in order to heal, I'm sure you guys have heard about healing your inner child. We really need to connect with that part of us that is innocent and curious and authentic and, you know, kind of has those rose-colored glasses on for life. Not that we are negating the, you know, the bad people, places, and things, so to speak, or ignoring them because we want to be aware. But we don't have to connect our energy. We don't have to give our energy to those people and things. Yeah, this beautiful. I know it's not the sun card, but I like that illumination. Having illumination around the, illuminator. I was right. See? Spirit is speaking through me now. So illuminating what we need to see around the people, places, and things. Again, these are all just layers to the work that we're doing in terms of preparing for the new year, releasing, letting go, not, you know, and the best way we can do that is by being aware. So this is a day where there is more like mental energy is what it feels like, mental, emotional energy. So I would really encourage you to be aware of that, really kind of choose some tools, whether you do, I mean, my favorite is meditation. I think it's always a good recalibrator, I should say. But also, you know, if you know you're going to be going into a tough situation, give yourself 5-10 minutes, take some deep breaths, really just like, give yourself a minute to feel grounded, to feel safe, to feel secure in what you're walking into. That is going to help you find that empowerment. And then it's also going to give you the clarity of like, I don't like this, or this doesn't feel right, or this is not my vibe. And again, then we can practice the release and the letting go. So I hope that you found messages here. Thank you so much for your time and energy. Always happy Thursday to you. I hope you have a fabulous day and you feel strong, abundant, empowered, amazing, and beautiful. Thank you for your time and energy. All the love and blessings.